Okay, let's get into the mind map. Now in the mind map we can see that we have the procrastination in the middle, and from here we have some branches. And the first branch I'm going to discuss of mindset. Now, as I said earlier that we need to develop a mindset and procrastination, the mindset has three branches. The first branch is universality, the second branch is forgive yourself, and the third one is try, and try. So let's get into the details of these topics. Now first comes the universality. What does universality means? If you are thinking that procrastination is only unique to you, that means that only you procrastinate and none of us are doing it. All those productive people like Elon Musk, he doesn't procrastinate. That's not actually true. All of us procrastinate, or more specifically, if I say that all of us have the urge to procrastinate. It's not that some gene inside you that is making you procrastinate more. We all has the urge to procrastinate. So what is the difference between you and the guy Elon Musk who is sending cars into space and planning to send people in Mars? How he's achieving so much more while you struggle to submit an assignment in due time? The difference is that he knows the tools and techniques to beat procrastination and you don't. There is an information gap between him and you that is making the difference in the success between him and you. But my point is not that. My point is you have to know that we all procrastinate. You are not different, or there is nothing specially wrong with you for procrastinating. Okay, let's get to the second point. In the mindset, we have the second point as forgive yourself. That means you have to forgive yourself. That is really very important, learning to forgive yourself. Now, why do you need to forgive yourself? Have you done anything wrong? Maybe or maybe not, but you're thinking it wrong. You think that procrastination is a bad, and you have paid the price for procrastinating before watching this presentation. And you beat yourself up for every time you procrastinate. You think that something is wrong with you, and you have procrastinated earlier a long time, many times. So you had to pay the price of procrastinating. You had to pay the price in exam marks. You had to pay the price in, let's say, getting scolded by your boss for procrastinating or for delaying the project. But you have to forgive yourself for all those reasons. Why? Because if you cannot forgive yourself for those mistakes, you cannot move forward. From where I'll describe the tools and techniques, you need to be in a place where you have forgiven yourself so that you don't have the baggage of mistakes with you. You are free to learn new things. So forgive yourself. And the third point I'm going to describe that is try, and try. You have heard that really cliche motivational quote that says never give up. Now that's really very true. It really may sound cliche, but it is true. In your journey for beating procrastination, you will fail many times. I know I have failed, and I still struggle with the habit of beating procrastination. But you have to understand that it is a process, not a destination. So you have to try again and again and again. And if you fail, you have to remind yourself that it is not a destination, it is a process. And in the process, you will fail and you will recalibrate, and then you will learn from the failure and then move forward. But after watching this presentation, you cannot think that, okay, I will not procrastinate for the rest of my life. You will. That's okay. But you have to try again and again and again. And remind yourself when you fail that it is a universal phenomenon. And you have to forgive yourself for that. And thirdly, you have to try again and again and again and again. So if you have cultivated this mindset around procrastination, and if you believe that you can forgive yourself, you can look at the universality of procrastination, and if you have the mindset of not giving up and try again and again and again, then we can move forward to the model we're going to use to beat procrastination. The model really talks about motivation. Now you may ask why I am talking about motivation in a procrastination presentation. If you look closer, the underlying layer for procrastinating or delaying the work is that you don't have the motivation to do the work. That's why you delay the work. If you can work in the bottom line, that is on the motivation, if you have enough motivation, you won't delay the work. You will do the work. And if you do the work in time, that is beating of procrastination. So the underlying thing is motivation. So if you work on the motivational aspect of your life, you will have beaten the procrastination habit. Now, in motivation, we can see motivation in a model, and that model can be formulated in an equation. That's really interesting. We can formulate the motivational aspect of your procrastination in an equation, and in that equation we will see that there are 4 aspects of motivation. Those 4 aspects will determine how you are motivated to do a work. Those 4 aspects are expectancy, value, impulsiveness, and lastly the delay. Let me give you the whole equation. In here we can see the equation. The equation says that motivation is equals to expectancy times value divided by impulsiveness times delay. So from the equation we can understand that expectancy and value are the important things. If we increase it, we will increase our motivation, and there is a division relation between motivation and impulsiveness and delay. So if we reduce the impulsiveness and delay, our motivation will go up. Now, what are these 4 things? What is expectancy? What is value? What is impulsiveness? And what is delay? Let's tackle one by one. First, I'm going to talk about the expectancy, and then the value, then the delay, and then the impulsiveness. And in the way of describing each of them, I'm going to tell you the techniques you can develop to tackle that aspect of motivation. So let's tackle expectancy. Expectancy is here in our mind map. So from procrastination we have described mindset, and then we have come to the expectancy. Expectancy is how confident or how competent you feel to do the work. It is a measurement of how confident you are to tackle that work. If you don't feel confident to do a work, let's say you have to prepare a presentation and you don't feel confident to do that, you think that you cannot do or prepare a presentation, then you will feel a resistance toward that presentation and you won't start working until the deadline comes. So expectancy is a very, very, very important aspect of our technique or strategy to beat procrastination. So we've understood what expectancy is, but how do you develop it? How do you increase the confidence, or how do you think that you are more competent to tackle that presentation or that project that you have? I have divided the expectancy in 2 parts. In these 2 parts, if you use the techniques I have described here, you will increase the level of your expectancy. So let's describe them. First comes the chunking part, and then ask for help. So in the chunking part, I have said divide the work in smaller parts, and another thing is take one part at a time. So what is chunking? Chunking is taking a work and dividing into sub parts. Let's say you have to give a presentation. You can divide the presentation in many parts. You can divide it in introduction, then the main phase, and then the conclusion. You can divide them in more subparts. If you divide the work in many subparts, then it will be easier for you to tackle one part. Let's say you have 30 slides of presentation to make in 1 month. So just divide it in 30 aspects and work on the first slide. It will help your brain to see one slide less work than to complete 30 slides in one sitting. So divide or chunk your work. And when you divide or chunk your work, don't try to tackle all of them at once. Try to take one part at a time. Try to eat one bite at a time. Okay, after chunking, we can go to the ask for help. Now in the ask for help section, we can see ask for information and know about experiences. What is ask for information? Ask for information says that you need to understand or gather information about your work. Let's say, again coming back to the example of making presentation, you can ask for people who have really good skills in presentations. You can ask them how to give a good presentation. You can ask them what software they're using to make a slide. So by gathering all those information, you will feel competent inside you to tackle that work. And ask for experiences. Ask your friends, ask your co-workers about how much time they took to make that presentation, and this will give you an idea of how much time you will need to beat that presentation. So if you chunk that work, and if you know how to do the work, if you gather information, if you gather the experiences, you will feel more confidence in yourself to tackle that work. It is said that if you have more clarity in a work or in a situation, you will have more confidence to tackle that situation as well. So that's the expectancy part. Then in our equation comes the value part. So what is the value part of our equation? What is the value of work? If we get into the details, value is how much value you give to that work, or how much reward you will get after finishing that work. So how do you increase the value or the reward of the work? We can see in the value here, we can do or increase the value of work in two ways: by increasing the experience of our work or increasing the reward of our work. So how do you increase the experience of the work? Go for a walk. Focus on the focus. Take breaks. What does this all means? If you go for a walk, it will clear your mind. And if you focus on your focus, it will keep you away from the distracting thoughts that are coming while you're working. And if you take breaks from time to time while you're working, it will recharge you, and you will have more flow experience inside your work. So that's how, by increasing the quality of your experience, you can increase the value of your work. Then comes the reward part. You always have to reward yourself after completing a hard task. You can reward yourself with video games, you can reward yourself with friends, or you can reward yourself with movie. But you have to have something at the end of the work that will make you do the work. If you say that I will do the work for a movie, it will motivate you more. So these two, expectancy and